Hello, today I'm going to talk about seasonal temperature difference with the global warming effect, APS mellifera. So, what is the APS mellifera? APS mellifera is a honeybee and it is well known for the pollination. Pollination means by the transfer of the pollen to a flower. So, it is really essential for ecosystem and quality of the vegetables and plant diversity. And the genus of the honeybees, of course, is APS, is means by the bee. Why we should study the APS mellifera? U.S. Department of Agriculture report that 42% in 2022 honeybee will lose the colonies. And it is also estimated that about 80% of the pollination of flowering plants uses the help of the pollinators like bees. So food scarcity could happen if the bee decline. So, why the temperature matters? Honeybees are ectothermic, which means by body temperature, and the metabolism is highly dependent on the environment. Temperatures over the 35 degrees can disrupt the brood development and colony health might be decreased. So global warming caused the milder winters and hotter summers we experienced all in last summer, right? And how could seasonal temperature difference due to the global warming affect the APS mellifera? To answer this question, the first study is in the first study talks about the bees of the difference on the temperature. There was a three condition of natural control condition, 25-degree condition, and 35-degree condition. So the experiment results shown that the 35-degree condition reduced the colony development and increased the physiology stress. So there was a statistically significant difference between the 25-degree and 35-degree, and this concludes that chronic higher temperatures could negatively affect health and give the physiological stress to the APS method. And the second experiment shows that the fat body lipid content. And what is the fat body lipid content? It is a critical energy reserve for the overwinter bees to support the metabolic needs. So the group 35 had noticeably lower lipid content. And this means by the higher temperature could impact the honeybees to ability to store the energy. As a result, it could negatively affect the winter physiology and it could cause to the decline of the honeybee. And the second study is talking about the weather condition and the honeybee and the bumblebee. I will especially only talk about the honey. So the result of this study shown that the bee carrying the pollen and nectar actually decrease with the higher relative humidity, and the decline is higher in the lower temperatures, and honeybee activity is strongly dependent on the weather. So therefore, the global warming will cause the higher humidity because of the water is evaporated during the high weather, and the global temperature is kept getting up and up, and this will increase the negative effect on the honeybees because honeybee cannot bring the nectar back and bring the pollen back. And as a result, the higher humidity supposed foraging and collection, and also the solar radiation activity increased, but it could also decrease after the higher solar radiation. So, as a result, honeybees are highly sensitive to environmental changes, and honeybee activities is more affected by the climate change. And next and last, the study three is talking about the global trends in climate suitability of bees, and especially about the warming in the. As a result, this study conducted study over the broad area, and it also done with the case studies. And overall, the case study shows that the researcher could make the data and make a map that actually shows the climate suitability for the APS mellifera by 2070. And the result is, oh, it is a shock because the lighter colors is showing that the higher climate suitability and darker colors is showing the lower climate suitability. If you see the map, you can see a lot of proportion is dark, right? So 65% of the bee species are projected to lose the suitable habitat by 2070s. As a result, APS mellifera will face the regional declines, especially in the area of Africa. As a conclusion, the decline on APS mellifera is actually predicted. So, with the climate change, the lower health and overwintering success will be shown, and lower decrease bee carrying the pollen and nectar is shown. It means by the bees will lose the energy for their survival. And 65% of the bee species will lose the suitable habitat by 2070s. As a result, we should change our this situation, right? So the significance of the study is that the honeybees Apis mellifera have an economical, agriculture, and environmental importance, and one of the biggest factor of decline of the Apis mellifera honeybees decline is the climate change. So environmental effort is actually really needed. I believe that we have to change this in government and every single people should actually try daily life to reduce the usage of water, reduce the usage of energy to save our honeybees and save our agriculture, our farmers, and save our food, and to save our whole nations away from the food scarcity. Thank you so much. Lastly, this it was the references that I used.